Joining us live now is Charmaine Crowe, Senior Advisor at the Australian Council of Social Service. Thank you for your time, Charmaine. A big discussion with the stimulus package has been whether there should be an increase to the Newstart to help stimulate the economy. Why do you think that would help when we are looking at more seriously the supply chain collapse?
Well, obviously the supply side of things is important, and we need to ensure that business can invest and importantly keep workers on. But at the end of the day, businesses won't invest if the consumer side of things is lacking, and that's why we need to look at boosting household expenditure. And the best way to do that would be to increase Newstart. It's not just us saying that. The Business Council of Australia says that. Council of Small Business has come out today saying that lifting Newstart is the right thing to do and the smart thing to do. And a wealth of economists are calling on the government to stimulate the economy through a Newstart increase, because we know that people who have the least are much more likely to spend, and that's why a Newstart increase is much better than a tax cut, for instance, which we know people tend to save or pay off their mortgages with. The other thing with a Newstart increase is that it would deliver literally millions of dollars into small communities, into local economies that need it the most. Many rural and regional areas in Australia have been hard hit over the last 12 months by drought, bushfires and floods, and some of those are now being affected by the coronavirus in that they've seen a huge drop-off in tourism. We know a Newstart increase would deliver a huge injection of cash in those economies, because people on Newstart tend to be located in rural and regional Australia. So not only is an increase to Newstart the right thing to do, it's also the smart thing to do.
You speak of organisations like the Business Council advocating for a raise in Newstart. That's been quite separate, that advocacy, to the actual response to coronavirus. With the impacts on the economy, because it is quite targeted to issues like we were saying with supply chain, is it trying to conflate the two issues to say we should raise Newstart when that is a separate discussion? Why would that particularly help in the case of coronavirus?
Well, I think the issue of Newstart is about addressing the need to stimulate the economy in the medium to longer term. And we also know that if you increase Newstart, it would provide an immediate injection of cash into the economy, because you would be giving money to people who have the least, people who are living in poverty, people who at the moment literally cannot afford to eat 3 meals a day, cover the cost of transport, keep a roof over their head. So any increase you provide to them in terms of their income is going to be spent, and we're going to see that stimulatory impact take place immediately. And that's why economists are saying it's important to keep an eye on boosting household consumption. And from our point of view, and the point of view of many economists, increasing Newstart is absolutely the right thing to do. Chris Richardson said last week that a Newstart increase should absolutely be part of any stimulatory package put forward by the government. And he's certainly not alone, and that's why we today, with the Small Business Council, are saying lift Newstart, because it's the best thing that we can do to boost growth.
It would come at quite a cost, and we're looking at now losing the promised budget surplus. We're going to be, looks like, having to spend $10 billion to get the economy stimulated after the coronavirus. Is this something, when you say it's a medium to long-term objective, that the budget can afford?
Well, let's put it into perspective here. The government's tax cuts that have already been passed are expected to cost around $34 billion per annum after 2022. That's almost 10 times the amount that a Newstart increase would cost the budget. And we know that it would be a far more effective stimulus measure than those tax cuts, because people on higher incomes are more likely to save that money. Whereas people living on $40 a day, they are absolutely going to spend it. So we think an increase to Newstart delivers excellent bang for buck. The Australian Investment Council agrees. They said last week that increasing Newstart is the right thing to do, and it's what the economy needs. We just need the government to listen to the many different voices in the community, from business to unions, to the hundreds of thousands of people who are trying to get by on $40 a day and increase these payments so that we can help people put food on the table, but also boost the economy.
Charmaine Crowe from Council of Social Service, thank you for your time.
Thanks so much.